Good morning to everybody, and blessed Christmas to you all. So, I'm going to tell you something self-evident. When you think of Christmas, probably one of the first things that comes to mind is the word gift, right? Gift, or if you're selfish, gifts in the plural, right? And that makes sense, because ultimately what is Christmas about? It is about a God who makes of himself a gift. That's actually where the idea of giving gifts and exchanging gifts one to each other came from, was the idea that we're celebrating the fact that God made of himself a gift to humanity. And, when I was kicking around ideas, it occurred to me, okay, what is it that makes for a good gift, right? I remember watching a Seinfeld clip, okay? One time, I don't remember if it was a birthday or if it was Christmas, probably a birthday. So Elaine's birthday is coming up, and Jerry's kicking around different ideas. I don't know what to get her, because if I give her this, it's going to send the wrong message, but if I give her that, it's going to send the opposite message, and what am I going to do? So around comes her birthday, and he comes and gives her this big box with a nice gold wrapping and a nice ribbon on it, and she opens it up, and inside is cash. She's like, "You gave me cash for my birthday?" You can imagine how well that one went over. And then Kramer, I think, got her something much less expensive than the actual cash. But because he put a little bit of thought into it, it actually meant something to her. And she's like, "Oh, that's so nice." And meanwhile, Jerry gave her cash. Okay? Cash it depends, but most people would not consider that was a very heartfelt gift, right? Now, if you want to give me cash, I, on the other hand, am perfectly okay with that, so just saying. On the other extreme, I don't know, have any of you read the story? It was a Great Depression story, therefore it is greatly depressing. Did you read the story, The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry? Okay, you remember how it went? Took place in New York in the Great Depression. So the long and short of it is this. There is this young married couple. They've got a couple of kids. They live somewhere in Manhattan, probably somewhere not too well to do. Working class, just barely making ends meet. And they're poor, okay? And now the husband only has one nice possession. He has an heirloom, a beautiful gold watch that his father, grandfather passed to the father, and passed to him, and so on and so forth. Great emotional value to it, and it was a beautiful piece of workmanship. It was beautiful to look at. It's the only nice thing he had. The wife had basically nothing. She had some threadbare gifts, but God had given her the gift of beautiful flowing blonde hair. That's the only thing she had, was her hair. So, for Christmas, because these two are passionately in love, the man decides, I'm going to go and sell my gold watch, the only thing of value that I have, and buy this beautiful hair clip that I saw, beautiful, hair clip, to adorn the beautiful hair of my wife. And the wife thinking, I have nothing to give my husband, I've got no money and I want to show him my love. She went and had her hair shaved off, because back then wigs were made out of real hair, right? Had her hair shaved off, she's practically bald, and sold it to buy a beautiful gold chain for his watch. And you would say, "Oh, Henry, you have a sick, twisted sense of humor," because these two, they arrive at Christmas Day and they give each other these gifts that seemingly, externally, you would say they're useless. And nonetheless, what beauty there is in that, because despite the fact that those gifts seem to be, on the surface, ridiculous, behind those gifts was the gift of self. And I have no doubt that when she looked at that hair clip, and when he looked at that chain with nothing to put it on, they were each moved to tears, not of bitterness, but the tears that come from love. Each one of them gave of themselves in those gifts symbolically. And that's the way that all of the best gifts in life are. They imply a piece of us. They imply a piece of ourselves. Now, God Despite the fact that he gave us our very being, he gave us a universe, he gave us all kinds of stuff. We can be tremendously ungrateful, but none of us deserves to exist. You're here in a nice heated church, you're Catholic, you're relatively well-to-do, they've got family members and people who love you, it's all a gift. Nobody deserves that, but despite the fact that he's already given us all that, he says it's not good enough. I want to give the gift of myself. And that is what he did in Christmas. It's also what he does in the Eucharist, by the way. So we're going to receive him. Every time we go to Mass and receive him in the Eucharist, it can become a little Christmas, so to speak. And that kind of leads to the second point, which is this. All true gifts, all the best gifts imply, therefore, an element of union. Union between the receiver and the giver, right? It's not just enough. If I came to you and Merry Christmas, here's your gift. I throw it to you. It'd be beautifully wrapped. It could have a 5,000 carat diamond inside. If I just say, here, and leave and slam the door behind me, you're not going to think, you probably throw the diamond right back at me, even though it's worth, who knows, whatever, a 5,000 carat. I don't even know if there is such a thing as a 5,000 carat diamond, but you get the point. You could have the most valuable gift ever, monetarily, and if it's not given with love, and if it doesn't imply some degree of union, it can become almost an insult. Now, what's the third thing we can say then is, if somebody truly gives a gift that is a gift of self, that is geared towards union, there's also the person who's on the receiving end owes a debt of justice, right? It's not enough if somebody, imagine again, O. Henry with that beautiful couple, and he spends, he sells the one possession he has to buy this hair clip, and he pours out his heart and is on his knees and says, I love you so much and I wanted you to have this. If she doesn't reciprocate at least with gratitude, or vice versa, she had her hair short, and if he's just like, that was stupid, why'd you do that? There's a duty, there's an obligation of justice and of love to reciprocate. And the best reciprocation we can show is simply gratitude, to simply acknowledge the gift, the love behind the gift. And that is what we're here to do this morning. Christ has given himself to us. He's become a tender infant. He's made himself accessible, available. God has come down out of the heavens, so to speak, to come down in a form that nobody will ever feel threatened. Nobody will feel like, I don't understand this God. Nobody will feel judged. He's a baby. He wants to be that accessible. And if we ignore him even under that guise, then we too are the ones who we receive the gift and just thanks and walk away. So this morning is a morning for us to recognize the gift that has been given and to reciprocate with the only thing that we can truly give. Just like the people in O. Henry's story, we're all very poor. The only one thing we can truly give back is our gratitude. And the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.